Good morning. This is Chai Chats. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's not chai today. It's chocolate milk. I'm out of chai. It rained last night, so the table's wet. The chair I just sat on is wet. And my feet are wet. But it's fine. Everything's fine. Today's prompt was a little heavier for me today. And I think you'll understand why in the title or the prompt. Today's prompt is, what emotion feels the heaviest right now? And for me, right now, that would be fear. I am so afraid of so much. And I'm usually pretty decent at ignoring it or hiding it, but at this moment, I just don't have the energy. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of disappointing others. I'm afraid of how my body is feeling. I'm also afraid of things like driving and broken glass and the ocean. And I think it all comes down to being afraid of the what ifs that lie within all of those things. What if I fail? What if I disappoint them? What if there's something actually very wrong with me? What if I get into an accident? What if I get hurt? What if I get pulled out too far and can't swim back? I know that part of conquering fear is understanding why they are there. So simply put, I'm traumatized. I get that much. We experience fear because our brains are trying to keep us safe and away from pain. But what happens when this safety feature is going overboard? Because that's what it feels like right now. Something else I've been trying to accept is that while having these fears is annoying, my fears are valid. Good morning. I may not want to have these fears. Who wants to be afraid of anything? But I am allowed to be. And the two I'm struggling with the most right now are the fear of failure and the fear that there is something wrong with me. To me, failure is just not an option. But on the other hand, I understand that failure can be a learning experience. And that's on former gifted kid burnout. But why is failing not an option? And why am I so harsh on myself about it? I could probably trace that fear back to the pressure and expectations that were put on me during my childhood. And I've been carrying that weight with me ever since. But I'm trying to accept that failure isn't this world-ending thing. And oftentimes, another chance at success follows that failure. My other fear that overwhelms me is concerning my health. I have a long grocery list of issues, as I know many of us do, but it's beginning to affect my daily life, and it's beginning to affect my body. To put it lightly, my body does not react well to high stress. And it depends on the kind of stress. Because, like work, for example, I'm a server at a very busy restaurant right next to one of the biggest tourist towns in the state. And it's nonstop high stress for just 8 hours straight all the time. And I thrive in that kind of environment. I do so well in that kind of high stress and pressure. But then you get to like how our moving company still hasn't given us our stuff from when we moved out of Washington. That that sends me into orbit, and it did yesterday. Stress is subjective here. But when I cross over that stress threshold or get into that flavor of stress that my body just really cannot handle, my body literally shuts down. I go rigid, my fists clench so hard, my fingers turn white. It feels like there's a weight on my chest. Like it literally feels like my 14-pound cat is sitting on my chest. I can't move on my own, and the only way I can describe this feeling mentally is it feels as if I am just completely underwater. And this topic makes Miss agoraphobia pop her little head up. Thinking about it makes me anxious, and then the thought of getting too anxious and possibly having a panic attack makes me more anxious. It's a lot of fun. I am so fucking tired of living in a constant state of panic because I'm afraid of panicking and how my body reacts to it. It's just so unpleasant that thinking of my body going through that again, it gets me worked up. And it's getting way too heavy to carry, and I just don't know how to put it down. So how do you cope with emotions that feel too heavy? And I'm asking that so genuinely. Like, please tell me in the comments how you cope with your emotions, because I would love to try some new coping mechanisms. Because this shit's not working anymore. And I am losing my marbles. I really appreciate you being here and listening to me. So if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing this space with me. I hope whatever you're carrying right now, I hope it gets a little lighter. I'll see you soon. Okay, love you, bye.